You cannot start just with your body and not address your mind, because your mind controls everything that your body is going to do. So the fact that we go into our New Year's resolutions or some of our fitness goals and think we're going to have a happier, healthier year and not address the mind is insanity, because we start really with our mind. Hi, guys, and welcome back to the Thick Thighs Save Lives podcast. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Rachael, and it's 2022.
Nope.
Ooh, no.
It's 2023.
Oh my God.
You had one shot at that. You had one right answer, and that was not it.
Why?
Going for it, though. I appreciate the confidence you go at things with.
If nothing else, I am always wrong and confident about it. So
You've passed that along to your child too. I just want to say, I'm going to say a funny Rory story. But I tell this to other people. Rory is a really confident kid, and it's hilarious because he says things like, "Look at this masterpiece." And like Rachel said, he said to his teacher after he created something, "I'm going to take this masterpiece home for the fridge."
this looks like a fridge masterpiece if I've ever seen one. And the girl was like, okay. Listen, if you're not gonna, I say this all the time. Like, if you're not gonna toot your own horn, like, who is? Like, you gotta open up a New Year's podcast with the wrong year, and then just be like, I don't care.
I don't care. Here we
I
are.
get confused. I can't with my own self today.
I love it.
Cannot. It is 2023. It is a new year. And I think that we have everything you need to make this new year the best it possibly can be. And before we get into today's topic, which is, I think, a great strategy to bring into the new year to really change the way that you think about success and the way that you think about yourself. Before that, I just want to highlight the fact that in 2023, so far, if you're freezing your ass off, if your booty is cold, we got you. Have you seen the black fleece lined leggings that are out?
Listen, as soon as we came out with our first two colors of fleece lined, everyone was like, yes, love these, but have to have them in black because you have to have these for several days of the week. Now, I have confirmed this because I've worn 3 different colors of leggings in the same day for the fleece lined. Felt zero shame about it. I did a workout outside. I went for a walk in one, and then I went to we went to Edaville Railroad. It was so cold. And I was so warm. And the thing is that like my legs were still so warm. And the only thing that was getting cold was my feet. And I was like, I should have just done fleece lined from belly button to toe, and I would be fine, because here's the thing. These are the best fleece line leggings that have ever been invented. And I'm not saying that because they're CVG. I'm saying that because I'm a fleece line snob.
It's true. She is.
I am a cold, like, because I get cold so easy, and I'm real weird about like I have a lot of like sensory issues with things being like soft enough or scratchy, like things like that. And these are just a blanket wrapping around my legs, and I couldn't be more thankful for them. Like Alicia on support has worn them every single day, and she's so excited that unapologetically, and she's like, when are those black coming? When are they getting here? Because I need 3 pairs of them.
Listen, the first time I was introduced to fleece line leggings was before we carried any. And my main complaint was that they felt okay at first, but after 2 washes, they were all scratchy and like the fleece wasn't good anymore. It was like all matted down and they really weren't comfortable anymore. And the thing that I love that we perfected about our fleece lined is I'm on wash like 196 or something with mine,
Yeah.
and they are still soft as the day I bought them. And I need that. I need them to be soft no matter how many times I wash them because I'm going to wear them a lot. So don't freeze your ass off. Get yourself, I hope we still have some by the time this comes
I
out,
know.
but
I hope we have them by the time this comes
otherwise
out too.
everyone's just going to be mad at us.
You know what? You can't sleep on these.
Yeah, so
Been
we
warned.
had a big New Year's release. If you haven't seen it, we have an awesome collection. Our Fearless collection just so actually has so much to do with today's episode
Yes.
because you want to get that badass feeling going into 2023. We've got our black fleece lined and we've got our OG sweatshirts, the zip ups. Those are another staple for the cold weather gals. So CBG's got you covered as far as 2023 goes. Now, let's get your mind right.
Let's get your mind right. And here's the thing going into 2023. Honestly, here's the thing that goes into creating any new pathways for yourself going into a new year. You cannot start just with your body and not address your mind because your mind controls everything that your body is going to do. So the fact that we go into our New Year's resolutions or some of our fitness goals and think we're going to have a happier, healthier year and not address the mind is insanity because we start really with our mind. And the power of positive thinking and affirmations is something that is so underused, underdeveloped part, especially of women's brains. I want to say, because men, they come at things with the utmost confidence that you're like, you have never been more wrong in coming at things with such confidence. It's amazing.
It's like
But
how
the
I
fact,
said it's 2022.
yeah.
I mean, you got to have it's that kind of confidence.
You come at it hard. But, it's one of those things that is a muscle and it is something that we develop and it is something that we practice. And one of the questions that we get all the time is like, how do I get that confidence? I wish I had that confidence. I wish I had a more positive mindset, or I wish that was the first thought that came to my mind. And the fact is, there's no need to wish that. You have to practice it. People who have developed a positive mindset and who have developed positive thinking and have worked on their affirmations are not born with it. They're not born with something that you weren't. They've worked at it over time and continue to work on it. And I'll tell you this, it's an ongoing progress, just like, your work in the gym. It's ongoing. And anytime that you have like little setbacks or something that you feel like, oh, that wasn't exactly where I want to align, you can notice it, check it, and reframe. Every time. It's not like you've fallen back into anything. I did this thing. I wanted to use this as an example because I think I'm a pretty positive. My general thoughts when I'm presented with a problem are generally problem solving. They usually look for the silver lining. That is generally something that I've done while practicing. And I had a hiccup and I noticed it right away. And I was like, not it, Kelsey. That's not how we talk to ourselves. Because I was saying to myself something about how I was wearing my hair. And I was like, well, like I wear my hair down all the time. Like maybe it should be in a bun once in a while. Like I never wear it in like an updo. And then I was like, well, that's because like, I like my hair and also my face isn't that pretty. So you just to kind of surround it. And my inner thoughts were like, yeah, that's true. Gonna draw attention away from it. And then I went, excuse me, who's in charge here?
It's a really good question to ask. Who's in charge here? Because I want to present as someone who struggles in the opposite way. Is I generally have what I've referred to before on the podcast as a critic that follows me around. I know it's me, guys. It's not like he's really following. I call him a he because obviously it's a man
Obviously.
criticizing me every day. But I have a critic that lives in my head. I was recently speaking to a psychologist who told me, actually, this blew my mind and shocked me, that only a small percentage of the population actually has an inner dialogue. Like a lot of people, it's silent up there. And my
Blows my
first
mind.
instinct was like, I'm so jealous because it's so loud.
It must be so quiet.
I just want peace. Like genuinely, I feel like sometimes the whole entire room is so loud, but it's actually just me inside my own head. And it leans in the negative direction. It's a lot of criticisms. It's a lot of rumination on things that I could have done better. I should have said this. And I've said on the podcast before that oftentimes I have to speak out loud when I'm problem solving. And the psychiatrist that I was speaking to, she said like, that's absolutely not weird at all. The reason you're speaking out loud is to distinguish between the voice that is in your head and the actual one you want to hear. That's why you're saying it out loud, so you can distinguish. Because otherwise, if you just say it in your head, that's just like the inner dialogue that's going on every day, and you can't distinguish it. And I was like, okay, first of all this is blowing my mind. Only 30% of people go around with this inner dialogue. And if you're one of those people, you know how important it is which way that dialogue is leaning, whether it's leaning in a positive direction and things are seeming to go right at every turn and you're feeling great and you're feeling confident and you're feeling like you can conquer anything, or if it's going in a negative way where you are ruminating, you are seeing a lot of stop signs and genuinely just feeling like a lack of confidence in your abilities and yourself. And this is kind of a hack, whether you're one or the other, or whether you are a lucky enough person to not have that inner dialogue going all day. This is one of those hacks that can really change the pathways in your brain. It's so exciting and important. And like, I personally know how much I need this, and I'm going to carry this into 2023 because I really need it.
I love that. I also didn't know there was only 20 or 30% of us that have so much noise going on. I mean, I've made jokes about this and I've made videos about it of like what working out feels like to me. I've made a sound and it said like while I'm working out and it's like dee 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 and then it's like between sets and it's like everyone's yelling because I find that my peace comes when there's music drowning out the thoughts and there's movements to quiet things down. So usually it's that I'm counting and that I can quiet some of the thoughts with the counting that's happening and like movement at the same time. So that's usually why like movement gives me peace is so that I can quiet all of the things going on because it's who's in charge. I don't have like two voices. There's a lot of people in there. They have a lot of things to say and they have a lot of opinions. And I have to sift through them. And I think for a lot of people too, it's as soon as start hearing or start experiencing some negative thoughts, of course, we've talked about confirmation bias and we've talked about how those things can snowball and how you can start to practice those muscles, whether it comes to confidence or whether it comes to how you speak to yourself. And you start to develop a dialogue within yourself, whether it's an actual dialogue or not, but how you speak about yourself, how you speak about your body, and how you speak to yourself when you're looking in the mirror, things like that. And it's really important that the relationship that you create there is a good one. And you'll
You're
hear me
so
say
right.
this till the cows come home, but like if you wouldn't talk to someone that you love like that, you should not be talking to yourself like that. You should not be using that language. You should not be insulting yourself. You should not be calling yourself names and practicing the way that you talk to yourself in that way. And then you create that relationship and it continues on.
Well, here's the thing about practicing something is, so in general, we've seen a whole bunch of studies supporting the fact that affirmations actually forge new neural pathways in your brain, and that deliberate thought processes that like affirmations that are repeated that you can practice like this become automatic over time. Think of it like muscle memory. Think of how, once you know how to back squat, you don't forget one Monday how to back squat. Um, just like you know the answer to 2 plus 2 all the time without having to think about it, without having to count it on your fingers. That is the same neural pathways that you can develop with these affirmations and these thoughts, that it can become second nature, just like what is 2 plus 2? You can automatically go to I am strong and powerful. Like it can be like that. It seems a far off goal and a stretch sometimes, especially when you're coming from a place where you might be feeling not either one of those things, but developing and practicing with these daily affirmations can actually make it so that it's your knee jerk reaction to think and feel something positive and empowering about yourself. And if that's not just what I want for everyone, that's what I want for everyone.
That's what I want for everyone. And I do want to note that, like, if you're someone who likes some science behind these things, their self-affirmation theory is something that we can attach in the show notes so you can learn some more about it in positive ways to help us maintain our sense of self and self-integrity, because that is ultimately one of the most important things. But when we talk about positive thinking and affirmations, like, what does that entail? Like, what does that look like? And how, and what it really is how you communicate with yourself and those around you. And negative self talk can really derail your sense of self, your sense of self esteem, your self worth, and as well as your goals going forward. Because if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in your self-worth, if you don't have your self-esteem, how are you going to back up the goals that you set for yourself moving forward? Because at the slightest inconvenience, at the slightest bump in the road, you fall off because you never believed really anyway. And that's why I really wanted to start this 2023, not necessarily with a get back into the gym and this is what you can do and blah, 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 those things, but really start at the baseline with practicing some of the mental muscles that we can put in place so that when, not if, when the bumps in the road come, when those inconveniences come to that are going to take us away from our goals in our life and the type of life that we want to live, when those happen, you have the tools, you're prepared for them, and they're not going to throw you off track. They're going to be exactly what they're meant to be, is a bump in the road that you go right over and continue on in the place that you want to go.
It's so important to be armed with the tools to actually reach your goals. I mean, like in the most basic sense, like no one would send you to build a house without some tools. Like you're not showing up without a hammer. And if you did, it would be obvious why you couldn't build the house. But when we set goals and we don't have a mindset that is optimized to meet those goals, what we're really doing is showing up to build a house without any nails. And that either A, we're going to build a house that's going to fall down, or B, we're going to get so frustrated at not having the tools that we're going to say the goal was stupid to start with. And neither one of those things are true. And they both are what's holding oftentimes us back from reaching our full potential. And so
Yeah.
I just want to start with some basic guidelines for anybody who's unfamiliar with affirmations or how to kind of get started on these, just some basic guidelines on how this should look. And it might seem a little hokey at first, like, oh, this kind of feels silly, or I I just encourage anybody to give this 2 weeks, because everything feels strange at first. The first time you picked up a barbell, it felt strange. The first
That's just
time
what I'm saying. Like, all of those things like really do feel strange. The first time you start, if you haven't run in a long time or have never run before, it feels awkward and it feels uncomfortable. And you're like, I don't know, am I just trotting along? Am I doing anything? Every first time you've done a back squat, you're like, I'm not really sure. These things are going to feel a little awkward at first. And the one of the biggest pet peeve I have when it comes to working our mental muscles and neglecting that we're working on our physical strength, but we're neglecting all of our mental muscles. The biggest pet peeve I have with that is that like we don't feel that we need the reps. We need the reps, just like we need the reps with our body. You need the reps with all of the muscles that go along with that. You need the mental reps as well.
Couldn't agree more. So a couple of guidelines when it comes to starting your affirmations, and we'll get into like some example affirmations, but really it's so much more productive and better for you to choose your own. But we will have some like, general ones if you want to get started, but these are going to be so individualized to where you are wanting to optimize and maximize your life. So, however, pretty much anything you choose should fall under 4 guidelines. Number 1, you need to say it out loud. We talked about this a little bit in the beginning of the podcast about especially the people with inner dialogues. This is a multi-sense experience, right? When you do your affirmations, and actually speaking it out loud helps. You can hear it coming out of your mouth. You can hear it in your ears. It makes it multi-sense, and it's been shown that that builds stronger neural pathways than just saying it in your head, especially for people who are having a dialogue all in there already. Especially they benefit from this.
Exactly. The next one is like use the present tense. Keep your affirmation simple and clear by using the present tense. And this is just an example. I am a good person rather than I can become a good person. And this focuses your attention on shifting your beliefs rather than setting a goal. So like we do have a goal, and like I find that I am one to do this. I set them in the future as if just because like I'm not there yet. I'm not really like good enough yet. And there is that doubt that sneaks right in there. And if you continue to, that builds on it, right? So we can just eliminate that. I am a good person. I am doing my best. I am a good mother. I am a good athlete. These are just examples. You make up your own. But these are examples. I've done that with being an athlete, especially. I'll be like, well, I'm going to be really strong. No, no, no. I am strong right now. Maybe I'll
It's
be
really,
stronger in
really
the
important.
future.
It doesn't mean you're not leaving room for growth, but it is really important to speak in the present tense. And that is because you're not putting any conditions on your affirmation. It's not like, I'll be a good athlete when, I'll be a good person when, I'll be a good mother when. It's saying, I am one right now. And when you're goal setting, you're going to set things to support that goal, but it is going to be a truth no matter what. And that really instills that confidence that should you come short of a goal, which we all will, and is completely natural if you're setting goals that are aggressive enough, to be honest, that you will fall short, but that does not change anything about yourself. It doesn't say, I will be a good athlete when I can back squat 230. And then if I fall short at 215, I'm no longer a good athlete. Nope. I'm a good athlete either way. So it's always going to be in the present tense. It's really important. The third
Can I
one
say
is
one thing about falling short of our goals? Because I just want to present this as we move forward into the new year, is that like you will 100% fall short of goals. But the fact is that like the game's not over unless you're dead. So if you fell short right now, that's okay because we're keep on keeping on, right? Like we keep on keeping on no matter what. So every time you fall short is an opportunity to learn, is opportunity to reset something in the future, and like it is all part of your journey. And when people always say this, like I didn't reach that goal, or I failed, or whatever, and I'm like, is it over? Are you dying tomorrow? Because I don't think you are. So if you're not, there is no giving up. there is a timeout. There is there's all kinds of, breaks in there, but like there is not like it's not gone, it's not failed. It's a sidestep.
Not only that, but how many steps did you take forward while trying to achieve that? And does none of that matter? I mean, if you were trying to hit a 230 back squat and you hit 215 and that was a 15-pound PR, I mean, like, are we discounting all of that progress? I mean, there's tremendous progress in even trying. So
Mhm.
that has to be like taken accounted for. Try not to highlight the negative. So we don't want to frame an affirmation in a way that uses any like negative words. Um, not I will not get into bad relationships. Instead, I am deserving of healthy relationships. Can see the slight difference in those two statements. One is because it's that thing where you're not
The
thinking
diet.
of the cookies.
It's the
It's
diet
that
right there.
thing, right? It's that thing your brain does.
So like when you're looking at the negative things, you're looking at all of the things. So like I will no longer get into bad relationships. So you start thinking about all of the negative things that you want to avoid instead of looking for instead of looking for the directions to the place that you're going. Why would you look for all the wrong roads? That's like literally going on a map and saying like, show me all the roads I'm not supposed to take. And then as I'm driving, I'll be eliminating those. Like, no, you only want directions to the place that you're going. So if you're
Right.
looking for healthy relationships, you're deserving of a healthy relationship. You want to know what those things look like. What are the things that I am looking for? What are the things I want to focus my energy on? And when it comes to a positive thinking, a positive mindset, and creating affirmations, we really want to feed the positive. We want to feed all the energy. We want to feed our focus as to like we want to feed the positive, like where we're going to put our focus. So we want to just like stay away from the negative. Like, don't even use that as part of your language. If you've decided that like you aren't going to look for any bad relationships, okay, and you've started with that thing, like reframe it and then come up with the language that you're going to use and then lean into that.
They use this in child psychology all the time. When you're sort of looking at ways to communicate with like toddlers and children, um, you don't jump on the bed. You say, can you show me your marching feet on the bed? You don't say the behavior that you don't want to see because it often, especially with young children and toddlers, is they only can hear the thing you've said not to do. Don't jump on the bed sounds a lot like I heard jump on the bed. And that's
I
all
can't
my
think of
mind
anything
can
else.
think about. Exactly, because you've highlighted that. And now that's all my mind can think about. So they use this a ton with young children. And really, it's because genuinely that's the way the brain works is it does not want to hear what not to do because then that's all it can focus on doing. Um, and the last one is to choose meaningful affirmations. So this is not a one size fits all kind of exercise. It's not about what the top influencers on Instagram are
Yeah.
using for their affirmations. Even if they look like they have, extreme success or achieved some goals that are similar to yours, your affirmations are going to be so unique and individual to you, not only to what you want to achieve, but also to your past scars and traumas. Because what you are going to need to build up as far as that muscle memory is really going to be based on your life experience, and no one else can live that. So, you can get started with some basic ones and you can look up some common themed ones, and that's really great. But ultimately, we want you to get, same as with your diet, we want you to whittle this down to a really personalized approach that is not going to look like anybody else's.
Yeah. Because you have to know what's important to you. Like I rattled off a couple with like I think moms in general should repeat that they are good mothers. And because I think a lot of people have some a lot of self-doubt there because how can you not? It's another human. Like it's a whole thing. It's a very whole intimidating thing. Not being a mother, I think that's one of the most intimidating things on the planet. But like that is not part of in my journey right now, it's something that I would repeat, but that's something that's important. So like if you're someone that's important to you, that's on the list, then you want to make sure that you're including the things that are important to you. And like for example too, I looked up some of the other ones and reframed them because I know a lot of when it comes to having confidence, a lot of people want to say things physically in the mirror that they would like to affirm. And for me, that felt very awkward. And I realized that it was because those things were not where I placed my importance, where I placed my value. And really, where I placed my importance and my value was my intelligence, what I could bring to the room, what I could bring to other people's lives, what I could bring into my own life, and the type of person that I am on this planet. That's really where I place my value and what's important to me. So when I started thinking about what my affirmation should look like, it had to start with what's the most important thing to me? What's the most important thing that I want to exude in myself? What makes me feel happiness? What makes me feel joy? And then you can structure what your affirmation should look like based on those things, based on what's important to you.
Yeah, the best affirmations are ones that are around your core values as a human being. And whether that's core values that you're looking to improve or whether that's core values that you feel really strongly rooted in, your what you value as a human being, that's the best place to start when it comes to looking for positive affirmations that are going to be effective for you because you know that they're going to be relevant to your core, what you truly believe and what you want to achieve. Um, there's so many benefits. There's
I
so
know, we
many
just have to
benefits of
run
this.
through them because, like, people don't believe that these benefits, so we have to run through them real quick.
It's you
Increase your
guys,
lifespan.
you guys.
Could we just start with that one? Increase your lifespan, decrease stress, and lower your blood pressure. That is a benefit of positive affirmations that we're just gonna get out of the way.
I love the um that it's proven to have positive affirmations has actually been linked to a healthier immune system and a heightened resistance to health issues. Like I know we're in the dead of winter right now, so maybe that's where all my focus is. But that's incredible to me, but also not really that surprising.
It's not surprising to me at all. I think that I can link that back to times in my own life where I have like been more sick or been more had a different experience than having a more positive mindset, and what that has done for me. Reduced rates of depression, um obviously. Increased resilience and skills to deal with life's difficulties and adversities, obviously. We did talk about that a little bit when bumps in the road come up, but you have the skills to be prepared for those. But you do have to practice them.
Yeah, and you know, when we talked about a couple weeks ago, when we talked about starting with fitness rather than a diet, and we said like the science behind why movement actually promotes you to unknowingly make better nutrition choices. It's sort of the same thing here with like um, positive affirmations are have been linked to nurturing a more healthy diet and a willingness to participate in physical activity because the way that you feel about yourself and your outlook on life it allows you to find that zest to want to eat good foods that are going to leave you feeling absolutely fantastic and full of energy. It leaves you to want to participate in physical activities because your mindset is just it's just more positive. And when it's more positive, you lean towards healthier and more positive things in your life. So it all feeds each other.
Well, it's deserving, right? Like you deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel good in your body. You deserve to feel good in your mind. And when you feel as if And when you affirm that you deserve to feel good, you make choices that support that. And then just we wanted to end you guys with some examples that you can start using today. Do you want to start with those?
So I just categorized them into 3, but like you can take any category of your life and say like I can find an affirmation to support this. So if you're looking for like success in a certain area, just some examples that you could use for positive affirmations every day is I am in control of how I live my life. That is
I
one
love that
powerful
one.
ass statement.
I love that one. I just want to like throw in that at different areas, like when you give yourself back the controllers, when you put yourself back in the driver's seat, it feels so different when things happen, when things happen in the world and you can just affirm that you are in control of how you live your life. You are in control of every next step that you make, whether you're going towards the life that you want or going away from the life that you want, you're in control either way. I just find that one super powerful. I use it all the time.
I love that one. I give myself permission to do what is right for me. Whew. So after you say these, sometimes it's like it's a vibe, like you like get chills because it is such a powerful statement, but really you know this to be true at your core. And I trust in my ability to make good decisions. Boom.
I say that one over and over because I'm like, don't falter. You trust it. So if you're looking to lower some anxiety, I am calm and confident. I trust myself and my feelings. I feel safe and secure wherever I am. I trust myself and my feelings is a big one for women, I think, especially because you do need to be able to trust how you are feeling. And the only person that can validate it or invalidate it is you.
It's definitely an important one for women, and I think that um reassuring yourself that you can trust in yourself really it changes the outlook on where you look for answers. And I think for so many women that is world changing when we stop looking outward for the answers and start looking inward. It's damn, they've been there all along, girl. And lastly, some affirmations if you're looking to boost up some of your confidence. I am proud of myself. You don't have to say things that you do not believe. That's why these are so unique and individualized. You don't have to say things like, I love my thighs every day. I mean, we can like be out with the fact that that may not be true every day, but I'm proud of myself. We can make that true in some form every single day. And I deserve to feel comfortable in my own body. That does not say I do feel comfortable in my own body. It says I deserve to. And you do deserve to. That is a fact. And I empower myself and other women. All I could hope.
All I could hope. So hopefully, guys, these have been some good examples for you and something to take into your 2023 into developing a positive mindset, positive thinking, and using some of these affirmations. Do not neglect your brain muscles. We are not neglecting our mind muscles and only focusing on the muscles in our body. We are doing both of them because they are working together. Our brain, our head is not working independently from the rest of our body. So if you have any hope of having some fitness goals, some health goals in your 2023, you need to give your mind some attention. We love you guys.